Maybe.
This is gonna take at least a half an hour.
Yeah.
Either way, it's your meeting, so if you want me to go first, I'll go first.
Why don't you go first?
Yeah.
I don't wanna take up your time if you weren't intending to.
Alright, so. I'm Sean, I'm the new city manager. I think most of you have met me and we've been around, but I wanted to come make an official introduction. With TURA, and one, say thank you for the good work you do here in the city. The urban renewal agencies, as a separate body from the city council is a unique thing to Oregon, really. That doesn't happen much in other states. Usually the urban renewal or in other states, they're redevelopment agencies or whatever they're called in their names. It's usually just the city council that makes them up, but they're just a separate board. So having volunteers and people that come and have the best interests of the city at heart is always a good thing. So first off, thank you. And that's you, and we appreciate that. Second off, while you are volunteers, you still represent the city of Tillamook, and we're trying to make sure that I have a message of kindness and treating people with respect and doing things. So even though you are not employees, I wanted to share with you the message that we gave to all of our employees when I got hired here, and then when we hire new employees, they get this. So this is just a quick letter, and the city council members have seen this, so I'm gonna skip it you guys, if that's all right. But this is I call it steps to a positive and successful workplace. Okay. And Sarah's seen such a state sheet for your record.
Yeah.
But this is what we give to everybody to just say, look, we support each other, we communicate with each other, we communicate openly, and sometimes we have to have hard discussions with each other, but it's not because we don't like you. We want everybody to learn. There's differences, we want you to be positive, right? And you know, you guys can almost ignore the trust the process and follow the chain of command. That's more for our employees, but just know that the government doesn't turn on a dime always. Sometimes we're glacially slow. I like to say that we're a battleship, not a geo metro.
Yeah.
But we have shared guidelines of we want the city to be the best it can be. And when we have problems, we solve them respectfully. But most important is the ambassadors for our community. So whether you wear a logo or not, you are an ambassador for the city of Tillamook. And when you were out in the public, there's an expectation. And so I can't hold you accountable like I hold my staff accountable, right? I tell my public works guys, don't show up at 2 AM drunk at the bar wearing your city of Tillamook t-shirt. That doesn't reflect on us very well, right? I can't tell you can't drink, can't tell you can't smoke, but just be mindful because people are watching and they care what we do as city employees. So you don't have to sign this, you're not an employee. I just wanted to make sure that you knew what the expectations are of our employees and of all of our volunteers here at the city, is that we treat people with kindness and respect, and that we are looking out for each other and looking out for the best interests of the city, because people do watch and do pay attention. And even though you're TURA and you're a separate thing than the city, everybody looks at it as just the city. Well, the city's doing this, right?
Yeah.
When you put sidewalks in downtown, which is a wonderful thing, and I hope we can get this working for you for your next round of sidewalks. People will say the city did that, not TURA did that.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just want to make sure that we're all clear on that even though you're not the city, people think of you as the city, and we want you to act like it's important to you that you represent the city well.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Amen.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. And we appreciate that. And you've got my number. Ruth and I had coffee this morning. She had coffee, I just sat there and watched her eat, but I did get a piece of zucchini bread later, that was fantastic. Just know that I'm a city manager, I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention to TURA than maybe previous city managers have, because I wanna make sure that this group succeeds and has all the support and assistance that we need. And we've hired Sarah, I know she's new, sometimes there's some growing pains with new people, but she's gonna do great in this role as she gets the hang of it and gets the flow of it down. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Do you
right.
need us to sign the back of these
No,
documents?
no, it's just for information. You're not employees, so I make my employees sign it, but you guys are just volunteers, so not a big deal.
Well, I appreciate you kind of making this a policy, this is great. Positivity and clear leadership is super cool, so great work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, any questions for me? You've got a free audience with the city manager. Any questions for me or anything that I can do to help you guys make your decisions better and easier?
We have a sidewalk project that I'm sure we'll be more in touch about,
I saw your RFP.
right? Alright. But I don't think, nothing off the top of my head, you guys are at the top of the head.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm gonna leave you to your meeting. Thank you, Sarah, council members, thank you.
So join your family.
Yeah, and thanks again, this is really cool of you to do that, so I appreciate it.
Is your family over here yet?
We're all moved in, kids are in school, they're in the chess club and we're raising money to send my 8th grader to Washington DC and trying to get him on that trip. The deal is he has to find half the money and we'll cover the other half with his mom and dad. And then he's gonna try and play basketball junior high this winter. My wife has been hired by the school district to work in East Elementary as an educational assistant and I'm here all day, every day, so, you know, that's, we're just living it up, and they've got Wednesday nights are not bad, I'm always here this late on Wednesdays, cause our kids go to a youth group with our faith, and that happens at 6:30, and so we just kind of hang out here until they're done with that, so we're not driving back and forth out to meet cards, so.
Excellent.
Okay,
What's the part of your evening?
all right, thank you, Sean. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay. So, so we need to go through these agreements, there are 5 of them, and like one at a time. And then once we get done with that, if you're good with it, then we can get it back to the attorney and. You know, probably not gonna need for a while, but at least it'll be there. We've been working on this for a long time. So if everybody could look at the grant agreement,
The which one?
grant. Grant, well, if I get one.
Grant agreement. There we go.
Stop it right
Yeah, those big stuff. Got it? Okay, so I went through here and wrote little notes, and I was okay with the first page, except go down under C, it says recitals, and it says C. And then in the last line, because she had made a comment about this somewhere, it's at the very bottom of the comment section on the right hand side, new projects always involve construction work. To be broader, you could say here in connection with the project, so that's what I changed it to, in connection with the project.
I think that changes,
But it makes it,
makes sense better.
yeah,
So we'll make that change.
make that change. Alright, so that's the front page there. Turn it over the next page, you made a comment, was the TURA financing just the grant amount? And the answer to that question is yes. This is the standalone grant agreement without a loan, so I'm not sure if this is gonna have to repeat the grant amount here. And I put down that it was okay to repeat it,
Okay,
but there was no reason not to.
okay. Sounds
But anyway, that's for that page. The next page, oh, yeah, if you have something, just interrupt me, because I'll just keep going, okay?
So on the first page, you said what was the change
On the first page,
where it has the comment?
under C,
Uh-huh,
the last sentence would now need, up to, then there's a grant amount to be used in connection with the project, the cross out construction work for.
Okay,
And any of mine that you need to have copy.
Cool.
And one of the things that she made a comment about someplace, oh, at the bottom, it says you may wish to insert a footer with template date, version number and page number, so I wrote, like for these, I wrote grant, and then I wrote the page number.
okay.
All of them.
That'd be a good idea.
So, you know, we're gonna do that at work, but. Okay, so page 3. I didn't change anything that she had up here that was all okay.
Looks good.
And once again, just interrupt me because I'll just keep going. So
Mhm.
page 4, once again, I just figured everything she said was all right.
Yes.
She is a lawyer, so she's, yeah.
Yes.
She's, yeah, the, is Essen, ESIN. It's her name. Okay, page 5, same thing. Let's see if you want that. Page 6 is okay, page 7. Okay. Page 8. Okay, so up here. Under section 5.3. It says grant documents, TURA may act upon the grant documents immediately. And there was, so if we went to the page 8 of the grant enrollment, or the grant. I think I can get it, won't go long. No, I'll just read it. Okay. So she made a note here that says, I'm not quite sure what 5.3 is intended to say. What actions would TURA take immediately based upon the grant documents?
I question that also.
Okay, and so my note as far as the immediately part was that this was found in a 2024 agreement with Philmore Vision Center, an agreement created by Gary Osner and Hammond, which is the law firm. So they put it in there, so I just repeated it.
Yeah,
So,
if we strike it out, you're gonna have to start changing all our 5 point.
yeah, 5.3, I mean, you take them all out. You no, and so, yeah, what would they take? I said, well, part of it would be that you could, if they hadn't fulfilled some of their obligation, you could request immediately the grant funds be returned. And then you could do that with the loan, you could just terminate things, so that's, I think, would be immediately would be perfect. And there are sections about remedies and all that kind of stuff, so. But they, like I said, they put it in the first place. And I'll do that.
So leaving it in,
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
okay, very good, leave it there.
okay. I agree.
No, I'm not saying they did, doing what she suggested, taking me off the.
Yes, so this changing to add.
Okay.
You said you should go back to grant agreement. Okay, and page 9, I didn't see anything wrong with that. Page 10, look at that, page 11. Okay, and the only thing I ended up with on just page 13, is that they need to correct the format, is it's as thought.
In with the Sarah, I mean,
Yeah, and it says sealed on this day of, and then there's a dash and then down,
Mm.
and so that doesn't make no sense, the format needs to be correct, but that's kind of the.
Right.
Other than that, that was it.
okay,
We got it.
oh, yeah, thank you, that was a good run through.
Are we going to approve these individually?
I don't know, approve them individually,
Sure.
if I can fill them out, we do the most.
Yeah.
For clarity.
Alright, so.
Are we going to approve
Well, we
them,
can't
or are
do
we
it now.
gonna,
Because this is kind of a workshop thing, so we have to go back and I'll just do it individually when we get to it, I think it's on here somewhere.
but are we going to send? Or you were going to
Yeah, so we,
communicate with the attorney?
right, so once we've approved these, then I'll get together with the attorney
Okay,
and he'll write soon, we're all over in person to the war zone. And then, we can, yeah, I'll take care of it.
So if anything tonight, we're just gonna say, well, this document is now ready to be referred to the attorney for final
Yeah.
directions, okay.
One at a time.
Okay,
Alright, so moving on, so how about if we do the loan? The grant agreement with loan, no. I just think the loan agreement, so we did the grant agreement, let's do the loan agreement. Okay. Where did you find that? Yep. Alright,
you mean the.
okay,
Back for it is.
I'm ready. It's all about.
Charles up to you.
Okay, John.
Yes, it is. No, do it fine.
Okay, page one, so this starts off, being basically the same thing, is that when you get down to C, it would say to be used in connection with the project, and you would omit the part that says construction,
Okay.
which follows the one that we just did. Page two, okay, so I have a note here on mine that says, add the wording from Article 1, Section 1.1. Grant, just Section 1.1 of the loan, with all the other words, so. Let me see if I can. So Article 1 of what we just went through, the grant, when you read it, it says, on terms and conditions of this agreement, TURA agrees to make a grant to the grantee. The grantee may not commence any portion of the project, including any required construction work, prior to the agreement effective date and prior to execution of the agreement by both parties. Any portion of the project commenced prior to the agreement effective date and prior to execution of the agreement by both parties will not be eligible for reimbursement. And this, the grant part is the only place that shows up. That's part of our policy.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, let's put that in for every one of these. I can change the number.
Sounds good.
Okay,
And where are you proposing that be?
that's gonna be section 1.1.
so do you want everything else to shift down, or do you want it mixed into the current section 1.1?
How is it in the grant? Well, yeah, in the grant, it's the grant is just section 1.1. But see, the loan is different because it talks about the loan amount, loan conditions, so through.
So do you wanna extend like the length of 1.1 to include?
Yeah. It could be 1.1A, 1.1B, something like that.
Huh.
So, but it should be effective, you know, as long as
should
you're
be.
okay, it should be included, so.
Did you get that? Sam? Does that make sense?
Yeah, if I may,
Yeah.
I think I would just do it as section 1.1
Okay.
and then move everything else
Move
down.
everything down.
Yeah.
'Cause it'll, yeah, because when they do this, it should automatically change.
Right,
So,
right,
Oh.
it shouldn't
They
be,
won't have to sit here and retype it.
right,
They just plug it out.
right. I think that's a good catch, though, it should be in there.
Yeah. So, okay, so that was page 2 of the one, everybody okay?
Yes.
Okay, so page 3, I put add section 1.5 from the forgivable loan. Forgivable. 1.5 from the forgivable loan talks about disbursement. Because I don't think there was anything in here on loan without disbursement, but it would be the same as a disbursement for the forgivable loan, and so it should be. So, section 1.5 of the forgivable loan, is labeled disbursement. When it says TURA will disperse a loan to borrower consistent with TURA guidelines and open costs, the following provisions of the applicable with respect to disbursement of the loan. All this stuff. Page 3.
So we have that in this one, that's in the loan agreement under 1.3.
Is that under 1.3?
That's the same wording.
Okay, well then my note is zero.
Good catch, Sarah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that makes sense.
That's on page 2, that,
Yeah, so we'll just cross line note out and we're all set. So then page 3 is okay. We're good.
Okay.
on 2, on 3,
Page, huh?
on page 3.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, there's a comment down there about, in the comment section, the bottom comment about prepayment.
Mhm.
And I really like the idea of being able to prepay loans without a penalty. And so I would entertain a little discussion regarding prepayment clause, I believe. Where would that be added to those?
I think under 1.4,
I'm going for,
Mhm.
the borrower's obligations, they're to make payments along amount of.
okay, so they would be in it.
So it'll just be part of that,
Okay, so it'd be the 1.4 language that we see on page 3. And
then you add.
then include the prepayment without penalty
Right,
language. Is that okay?
yeah, good, thank you.
Pretty
I
much
thought we were
what
doing this together.
Farmington the market says.
That's
Yeah.
what, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he's saying, he would like to include that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Did you catch that, Sarah?
Yep, I got that.
Okay.
Are we, the comment right before that?
Up above?
Uh-huh. Do we want to include any of that? Information?
Seems like an awful lot of stuff.
If we can live without it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
All right.
So then, so we have the comment, which is 1.4, and then page 4, the title is okay.
it's just.
I have it
Yeah.
there. That's all there.
Okay.
Okay, on page 4, going down to section 2.5,
Okay,
2.5,
yeah,
and go to 1, 2, 3, line 3. And it starts with those, including without limitation, applicable health, comma, safety, comma, environmental and land use zones. It's just a typo there. A comment after the word safety.
Okay.
And then,
Not the Oxford conflict.
No.
also, then right after the word environmental, it says, environmental and zoning laws. So eliminate the word land use. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, so, and she had crossed out one.
Yeah.
He changed it to zone one,
And I'm
makes
okay with
sense,
that.
yeah. Okay, are we good with 4? Yeah. Okay, moving on to page 5. I think I decided as far as I was concerned, this was.
I guess. Don't give me these documents ahead of time. So going into 3.2
Yeah,
and go to the 1, 2, 3, fourth line from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, fourth line from the bottom, all that red language there.
Says other tangible property.
The time for, and then other than land, that's what I have circled here. Because.
I don't think you wanna make that blanket for every kind of agreement. We have more of a case by case.
Other than the land. So insurance against loss or damage to the building and other tangible property other than the land. So then we're requesting insurance against loss or damage to the building, if you're following me, and other tangible property. But sometimes, and I was a victim of such a situation where, they found an oil tank on my property downtown. And all of a sudden I was liable And that's something, that was not in the building, it was in the, underneath the sidewalk, it was discovered by accident. And all of a sudden, I'm liable for the pollution, and the EPA claim was in place, and I didn't have coverage for that, I was very scared at the time that I was gonna be responsible for the land. And so, they say other than the land, and I'm proposing,
That should probably still not be,
Including land?
well, it shouldn't be there, another tangible property, that would take out other than the land. So, or maybe you wanted to say including the land,
I would, including the land.
okay, so other tangible property.
Including the land.
That point to.
Yeah, because if you have a fire, sometimes land then becomes property,
Yes.
whatever's on it,
Makes
property.
sense to me. I could have to remember, if all we had to do.
I think I had a terrible experience.
Anybody have anything else on page 5?
Real quick, on page 4, did you have something other than, were we doing anything with the consider including? Or anything before that comma? Okay,
No, it's
Just
just
one.
Safety.
okay, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss something. Thank you.
page 6, I didn't have any changes to that.
I do.
Oh, you
Tom,
John says I can't go to, on 3.6 now,
okay,
got the bottom line, the next line up. Which says that the operations, occupancy and uses thereof, including all applicable health, comma,
oh, okay,
eliminate the word and.
right,
yeah,
And then the word safety, comma, environmental and zoning laws.
so you got the comment after safety this time. This time.
The comma after health.
Right,
yeah,
Okay, and eliminate the word.
Gotcha.
Okay,
okay. Page 7. The only thing I had on here was that the, what had the, at the bottom says article A, or it shouldn't say article A, it should say article
so. Very good.
article designation.
Very good.
Yeah,
Wow. That was a staring us in the face, wasn't it?
and then page 8, okay with that. Okay, and then the only note I had here was about 5.3, but we already talked about that.
Oh.
That was about the documents and the other, so.
Mhm.
Technically, in page 10, I had that with me on page 11. Well. Then once again, page 13, format is off.
Oh,
It's the notary. Thing, okay, I get it.
And then the rest are all just pages that have these. Things on them. All right, so that is the grant and the loan. How about the grant agreement with a loan?
okay.
All right, so on the first page, down under D, no, under C actually, crossed out construction work 4 and just made it with the project. Oops. Before. And then she has this note here, you may wish to insert a footer with template date, version number and page number, so I just. Yeah, that's what I have to do, that would be a really good idea, so I just put like G-L, H1. Right. Great. Okay, under D, I put here, reason why I did this. The grantee and TURA have executed a loan agreement. Grantee and TURA now desire to enter into this agreement, to specify the amount, terms, and the conditions of the grant. Okay, so it would say grantee and TURA have executed a loan agreement contemporaneously with this agreement. All right, so that would be a sentence that would go part of D, but it would be above the sentence starting there.
One more time, I'm sorry.
The grantee, this is the grant agreement, the grantee and TURA have executed a loan agreement contemporaneously with this agreement. I didn't make that word up.
That's good. Okay.
I saw it on this. See where it,
Do you want to still leave that sentence that's there in? So that would be the next.
yeah,
Okay.
so now D has two sentences instead of one.
Okay. That's what I wanted to make
And
sure.
then it talks about you.
Okay.
That's a good catch. Right.
Alright, so page
Now we're
ten,
going on the next.
I just left the way it was. Page 3. I left that the way it was. Page 4. That the way it was.
Okay.
And then page 5.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so, so this goes with what we just did, so section 3 on page 5. Go down to the big red part, is naming TURA's officers, employees, and agents as additional insured. And then it says, insurance against loss or damage to the building, and other tangible property, and we wanted to cut out other than, and write including. Where are you? I'm on page 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so, section C, well, no, it's 3. See, they have section 30.
No, it's.
They have section
3.
3.2, which actually
3.3.
says 32, and it should say 3.2 at the top. And the next section is 3.3, insurance requirements. And something that we did in the last one that we changed and make sure we do it also is that other tangible property, you're gonna cross out other than the, and just including, make it including the land.
Including the
The
land,
wording.
including the land.
That's what we did in the last one.
Did you get that sound?
Thank you.
We don't want Tom to be stuck with you in pain. Anything else on this page?
I think it's 5.
Okay, page 6.
Yeah.
We should change
I
it.
think 6 on the back.
Page 7.
6. Not changing anything, so that was it.
Not change anything.
Okay,
Okay, and then page 8, when she had a comment about the immediately, and this is what we've already covered that all. Page 9. Back in the was. Page 10. That's the way it was. Page 11 is blank.
okay.
Page 13, once again, there's a formatting issue. And then on page 15. It's due, the grantee's full application. Which is part of that. And that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so this was the grant agreement we're going. Why is it so freaking cold in here?
I don't know.
the thing behind you is the temperature, quality, can it be fixed?
Somebody, I know everybody has a different temperature, maybe than this.
No, it's cold.
No,
I'm
it's
going to be trying last night.
When I'm wearing my.
So it's assumed that I'm close.
I see you dressed wrong.
I did, yeah.
I'm afraid to touch anything electronic, so.
It's because you're not allowed.
Oh, I-
Last one was up, okay?
You've been talking to my wife.
Now which one, please?
Yeah, I was just looking back to see about the insurance.
I know it's starting to run because it's so cold. See, that one of your Kleenex is absolutely. Hey, John, can you pass the Kleenex down, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Only about 2 bucks.
See if that makes it better.
Okay, so next one would be the loan agreement with a grant.
Okay.
Right, and this is where I got the language for the last one, because she put it in here, but wasn't consistent in going through these. But she'd make a change in one spot, but she wouldn't do the same thing in the other. So if you look down here on the page under C, she added the line, the borrower and TURA have executed a grant agreement contemporaneously with this agreement. And I think it needs to be moved down to D, and we, so to two, D becomes 2 sentences. But she didn't put it in anything else, which is why I said this would happen. Okay, so now you know how to spell contemporaneous.
Yeah,
Why be on that construction?
Yes, so once again, where it says, it just will say with the project and on the last part of C. You know,
Yeah.
like it did before.
Okay.
All right, that's page 1. Page 2,
I mean, the red part you're suggesting becomes part of the.
right,
But D will have 2 sentences in it?
yes.
Yes.
No, it'll say the same thing that it did on the grant agreement for the loan.
Let's start with me.
All right, okay, I'll do that. All right,
Right.
do that. All right, page 3.
Do we wanna include the prepayment?
Yeah, the prepayment, and so we need to put the prepayment thing. in there. But we aren't gonna do anything with this.
So the same one that appeared earlier, a different agreement.
Right.
Page 4. Okay, seems like it was page 5. Page 5. Once again,
Twice.
1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th line up, we're gonna cross out other than the land, and we're gonna change that to including. Alien. Page 6, you already. Okay, on page 7, once again, yeah, so the article, this is article 8, it needs to be 4.
Maybe not. I'm very.
Page 8 seems to be alright. Page 9, once again, 5.3, because I think it's to do that, as it is. And it seems to be okay. 11. Well. Once again, page 13, something about page 13, anyway, the farm man is on. That's it. Very good. And then the last one is beautiful. Okay, once again, see, do we have the next construction work for, and then just say in connection with the project. So she had a note about project completion date, but it's not a completion date, it's a date of compliance, because. It's a bit different.
Where are we?
We're on page two.
Oh,
Okay, so under section 1.4, any amount of the loan not forgiven pursuant to section 1.3 on the date of completion shall become a 5-year fixed rate per month. Anyway, it's the date of compliance because, forgiveness of a loan comes well after the completion date, because we're saying, you know, unless somehow the way that the building is being redone, like window size or something. But usually it's like occupancy or employees or whatever. And so, yeah, so it needs to say compliance date. So that was page 2, page 3.
ooh, time out.
What, okay,
Article 1.1
yeah,
says the loan amount. TURA agrees to make a loan to the borrower, in an amount not to exceed the loan.
oh, and okay, I think in that space you're supposed to put how much. You know.
Oh, duh, okay.
So you can put the loan amount, so maybe
Is it my face red? Okay, okay.
yeah, so maybe we could change that. to
No, it's okay,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
okay.
But that's what that's for.
Well, that gives me an idea where you were at the bottom of page 2. And it was the fixed rate term, the 5-year, and why not just put a date? Instead of all that restriction of it.
If any amount of loan not forgiven on the date of compliance shall be found. Well. What, I don't understand what you want with it, the date. Just the date, you know, it's supposed to, in compliance date is January 1st. Okay, oh, I see, that's what it's saying. Oh, of course, yeah.
That's what I was saying.
So we can just fill it in there, okay, okay, so that would essentially require that you put it, I guess. Parentheses, right, you would still say the date of compliance.
Okay,
It would-
That's fine.
But just you would be date.
okay. That might be, yeah, that'd be helpful.
Okay, that might be maybe the administration. Okay.
That's my one, you're 23.
So page 3. On page 4. Page 5.
Can I?
Yeah.
So this one's fine.
Go ahead, where are we?
So on page 4, at the very bottom, section C,
Yeah, that's it.
let's see.
Was that right?
Go up 1, 2, 3. Sure. So about 3 lines where it starts out with the general contractor.
No, wait a minute.
On
So we on page 4?
1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me, page 4. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Page 4, section C.
Are you gonna have
Section
Are you
C.
on, I don't have section C.
Forgot all the problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forget about it.
I must have got my pages mixed up again.
What's the article? What's the numbers?
I'm in Article 2,
Article 2,
are we there?
section 2.6,
Section 1.
We're on page 3.
1.5.
This is 3.
Oh, 1.5, so you're on page, yeah, you're
I'm
on
on
page
page
3.
three.
So you want us to be on page 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Section C, okay.
Am I jumping ahead of us? Am I pulling
Yeah,
No,
back?
you're way behind.
Way behind. Okay, so go up 1, 2, 3 lines from the bottom.
Yeah.
The general contractor and all subcontractors have been timely paid for their respective portions of eligible costs covered by prior reimbursement. Then the reimbursement, I must have my pages back.
Request will be accepted by TURA.
You know what, I need to stop.
So are we done with that one?
I think so.
Okay, we do the same on all the other ones.
Okay.
We appreciate the hustle.
I am, yeah,
No, fine.
yeah.
Okay, so are we page 5?
Yes.
This is-
It goes to the other, it
I
goes
got
to
the
the other,
page with that.
okay, it goes to the other side.
Okay.
So it's page 5, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
This is 6.
page 6,
With all the red.
page 7. Okay, page 7, if you look at section 3. Yes, you can have the same problem we've had before, it's gonna say, including all applicable health. Comes up and safety, environmental and zoning laws, so you can kind of,
And you're over the end. Okay. The next page.
page 8, once again, this should be article 4,
Here.
page 9, 5.3, they the same before. And. 11. Well. Page 13, has a comment.
I'm gonna get them back to you.
Okay. And then that's it.
Almost on the same way.
The formal hearing.
Thank you. Great work.
Not quite done. Okay, so. We've just gone through all of these, we wanna do them all at once, or do you wanna do them with? I'm still thinking, so we're not.
No, I'm done.
Are you sure?
I move we approve and, the grant and loan and combo agreements. And ship them off to the attorneys for final. Presentation.
I second that one.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve, these as they are now, but it's, get them to the attorney with their final look through. Ready discussion. Done, we're gonna have it all in favor?
I.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
I'd say very good work, wow.
Mhm.
You guys are so sad. Amazing.
Moving on to the rest of our. Okay, did anybody have a chance to read the minutes of September the 10th?
Yes, we don't want to first got here. Seemed about right.
Motion, we approve minutes.
I would like to move that we approve the minutes from the previous week, September 10th.
Second. It's been moved and seconded, is there any discussion? We have this one, all in favor? Opposed? Okay.
You guys are word your ones, first of all, I mean, you abstain because you didn't.
Straight.
It's right.
Well,
You don't have to tell me.
we're here now.
All right, so we seem to be after the part here, where we look at bills, payments, and financial reports. Um. We not proposed civil design, so they,
So. There's, we approved $4,000, they said they would go for 2,000, they said, what to be done?
Nope, that was from the deposit, yes, it's sent to follow up,
I said,
the divorce check. Yep,
and then the pictures and everything are with the request for proposal. And I'm assuming that was, that he did.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit.
yeah, and he took, did I send you the breakdown? Yeah, he did this massive breakdown.
Yeah.
That I turned into a Excel sheet selling contractors. Cause he gave us more information than I wanted to give contractors. So we have like ballpark quotes, we have numbers, we have all those types of things, but I wanted to give contractors. Linear feet, depth calculations, so that way they could start creating their own. Numbers from there, but it's something I'll share for us, but we'll get that part.
So then, Singer Ruack Accountants and Consultants is for the, audit, thank you, the word was coming. For the audit, and I looked at some of the past things we've had, like, that's the same thing, like, much they charge every year. And then, apparently, and then the $7,533.41 goes to the city. Variety of funds. Yeah. Okay. So we need to have third party, any question, well, I guess we need a motion for it, so we have a motion to pay these bills. I need to pay the bills.
I second the motion.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anybody have any questions about things? All in favor? Vote. We will pay the bills and sign it. Get a new sign. So now we have Madeline's application.
you'll want to talk about it since I ran that evening.
Thank
We have some comments.
Jennifer Rowland came to us and she is, has Natalie's, it's not her property, belongs to somebody else. Heather,
Yes.
the bidder last
The
name.
one that part.
No. And, they have replaced a ceiling at one point, and then there's another part of the building that, needs to be replaced. The lighting that's in there, can't, it's so old, it cannot be. Even though lights, some of the lights are out, we can't fix them, so, we would like to have the ceilings be the same throughout. Ruth had talked to her about what we, aren't financially able to do anything at this point, and she's fine with that. So we looked over what she had and, said that she could go ahead with the full application later. And, we asked her also if she was willing to do a grant loan or any combination thereof, and she said, yes, she was. And, she has a contractor that she works with, that's where she got the money, the amount of the, project. And, I told him in the full application, she would have to have a written, proposal by the contractor or estimate by the contractor for the project, because I think that meets our requirements. It was a loan with less than 10,000. That was all okay. She was okay. It doesn't mean we're approving the project, it's just that she could go ahead with the full application. Any questions? Or-
Yeah, I had one.
So this is, what name was competitive property, is the property owner?
This your hotel?
You know, hotel, apparently. Oh, yeah, but they were sold several years ago. So where did you get?
London gets by the steel top of the line, obviously. Wow.
But yeah, no, it's
Fine.
been several, like 2 or 3 years or so, yeah.
Which hotel are we talking about?
Someone, hotel.
Oh, of course, that's been that way for centuries.
Yeah.
So, aside from Jennifer's, request. When did TURA, it used to. Back in the dark ages when Tom was on, and I was on too. We didn't do interiors, we only did exteriors. When did the change come about and why and what was the thing?
I don't know what the thinking was, but went back to my cookies on the paper. Aside, that on January 26, 2022. Jennifer Rovich had submitted an application, $7,500. And this was to remove the ceiling tiles and replace with blue pine wood that they would be removed fluorescent lighting and replaced with this pan lighting. No, a few other things, but anyway, so we gave her money in January 2022 to do the ceiling and what used to be Ron's barber shop. And this little room, I think, is part of the barber shop. A little room there.
Okay.
Anyhow,
That was the precedents.
yeah, so the precedence of that. So I think this is a question I wanted to ask you. And why would change? Sometimes we do interior ones, so we do electrical stuff for inside of the television. Oh.
Well, the wrong engineer stuff in it for.
Yeah, so we've done that.
Oh, yeah.
Did she indicate any amount that she's putting into this project?
No, but I did mention that to her, so.
She didn't say how much she was,
No,
yeah, that was, because this will be the 3rd time she's come, because we gave her a little over $15,000 for the exterior, which is the painting on the outside, and then a little gizmo, then my mom figures. Or decorative than anything else. And then another 7,000 something for the ceiling in the barber shop, and now she's coming back for. Well, prices have gone up.
and when does a project fall to the owner? So I have a shop and I want to paint it inside. Is that something Tristan paid for, or should I ask the owner, as the owner's shop, should I be paying it inside? I don't know.
I heard the argument, I mean, she wants a grant, right?
She will take, and she said she would do a grant, a loan, a combination, and also mentioned, and putting in her own money.
So I'm pro loans just for about anything, because I wanna see income coming back in so we can keep doing things. If it was a grant, I'd be a little more stringent, because like you said, the street value is really, I think, trumps interior. But.
And I think she, when you mentioned to put some of her own money in, she said she would. But since it's not her property, ultimately, she doesn't wanna have too big of an investment because it's not her property.
I get
Right.
it, but that's,
So-
that's commercial real estate,
Right,
you know,
right.
so.
So that was the whole discussion.
Well, I mean, I can see that.
You have to put money back into your business, it doesn't have, that's just a given.
Yeah, but so we don't have a,
We don't have a
We don't have any.
application, so right, yeah, we're just.
yeah.
Get
Well, we know, and then I found this, like, over the extension for question. Yeah, and so the one thing we seem to have decided that we weren't gonna do is maintenance.
maybe next to the, her two previous projects, were they fully granted? Or were they,
I think so.
I'm just curious, it's
Yeah,
not,
no, this,
like that question.
this notebook is the proposal investigations, so it doesn't necessarily say that.
Okay.
That would be a good thing to find.
Yeah, I think I looked it up somewhere online. Oh, here I did.
See if they.
Okay, so, and
Yeah, and I don't have very good memory of that, I was probably out there if I do.
this would have been in 2022, so that was like 3.5, it would have been March 2022, so it's 3.5 years ago.
Was it a grant or a loan or does it say?
A motion to approve $9,205 grant to Jennifer Rovich for renovations and signage.
I'm pretty sure the facade is good.
Yeah.
So
I think he's got on the line.
it's not maybe it was a loan.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially the interior, and our loans are cheap.
Yeah.
So. I mean,
But you can cross that bridge when it comes to the application.
yeah,
And she has an awareness that there's not gonna be any decision from this group or any funds available from this group till after the first of the year.
Yeah.
Sidewalks being priority.
yeah, but we're not getting, well, I don't know, but we're getting some great food comments.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll, speaking of our application, at least we talked about it, kind of know. Okay, so sidewalks, we've got lots of those.
Yeah.
Sidewalks, but- so we will turn this on over to
Sure, Zach.
who's been working on sidewalks.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Feel bad about it.
great, just food talk.
My first question is, when they talked about this,
Mhm.
and it says the green areas, I don't see any green on the, are they supposed to be the red one?
No, the white is not most of the work.
Not, no, it's with materials, one green.
Oh,
And
good.
one blue,
Yeah, got that, I saw the blue one.
because they're tiny, because that's the only place where there are trees. Do you want me to point that out to you guys?
There's, the tree has to come down.
One of the next, the green is down here.
For this,
I don't know if you saw this.
I mean, school districts like down the street.
That's the green.
Significant about
That's the green.
The green is
So
where
that's
the.
the green thing that you called out.
And the blue.
They're just getting red. Right.
No. That is
So.
Yep.
So,
second,
I remember when you guys
second,
walked there.
This is still
So it's completely the whole block, I see by the picture and everything.
Yep.
But so, like, if it were my block that I really like, which it is now, but I replaced some sidewalks. So we're not replacing, existing
this is
good
the
side. No.
Correct. And that's why part, you know, I got his map and my map and Tom's map, and then I was able to do these outlines. Because not everything needs to be close. And so then working with the engineer, then he was able to dial in some of the linear and square foot information. So I will answer the RFP questions, I wanna get the RFP underway, but I just wanna get you guys sort of up to speed real quick.
Okay,
So
say my question.
the first part is, you know, we spent the money to have them do the preliminary work, which was the site plan, and it was a bunch of linear foot and depth calculations, which if you go to this Excel spreadsheet. You'll be able to see that he gave us a bunch of information that I was able to then convert into a document that the contractors will be able to use. So everybody will be bidding off of the same information. That being said, when we get the RFP and when we do go for RFPs, we're gonna want them to do their own calculations too, but this is gonna be the guideline that everybody's gonna be setting a standard off of. And as we move into contracts, then we can also protect ourselves by saying, hey, we said 1,000 feet, you know what I mean, like, it's right. So that was one of the values we got from the engineer. The other thing that we got, which I thought I had emailed, but I guess I did not, is we got a ballpark breakdown of what this project is going to cost. And what can I put their home television, I share it real quick?
Actually, I remember seeing that, so I don't see it here, so
Maybe,
I don't recall ever seeing that.
that's all right.
But I'm not sure.
Sarah, is your computer hooked up? I just emailed you real quick.
Yep,
And the record for email on the cost of the assessments of $3.
So about the guy that we lost this year, any different, I said, TURA. They don't, that they can work.
Oh, the red circles. That's where it's up.
Concrete was freezing.
Well, they had talked about freezing. Not that, that was a good. So around here, there's no freezing. They are getting forward.
Did that come over? Sarah B, right?
no, it's brown,
Oh,
but yes, it is,
that's
it
brown.
is there.
Okay, yeah, if you could open that up for me. So, do you guys mind if I go and just stand in front of it and I can point at things?
Go right ahead.
So, this is the lookup chart, the tables, the calculations that the engineer did for us that I converted to an Excel sheet. And the reason is this is more information that I want to give the contractors, because this starts going into costs and numbers, and we don't want them to know what our, imaginary numbers, so to speak. So that's where we got that information. This is also where we got some of the survey information. This isn't the official final survey, that would also have to happen because that would do the elevations, but that'd be part of the engineering budget. So if you scroll down a little bit further, go up just a skosh, I want to see right here. So here's where we got a ballpark budget for what this is going to cost, $566,000. Now, when I did my calculations using Frank Montalegro's information, his ballpark quote was right around 480,000. But here's the deal. This information here has costs in it that we aren't necessarily going to need. For example, Frank said he does not need a mobilization and traffic control budget because it's on the side streets. So $24,000 is taken right out of this budget. Another thing too that's in this budget that really shouldn't be in this budget, it should be in our development budget, is the finishing of surveys for $12,000. Where's that, right up here?
Third one.
Layout, survey services, that really shouldn't be the contractor, that should be us in our development, so we can take that 12,000 right out of this. We also have furnish and place new residential driveways, which is something we're gonna talk more about in the RFP. That makes up $50,000 of this budget. And so what I'm getting at here is, once we start pulling these things out, guess what that number comes? $480,000. So we are really in the ballpark with Frank on his own, but we should still do due diligence to, to get the rest of it. I'm glad we were right there. So that's kind of where we're at here, to start with what we got out of the engineering. So now the RFP. I don't know how many of you have read RFPs or used RFPs before, but this is the request for proposal for contractors to bid for us. And so I've gone through and written it as best as I can for what I would want to see as a contractor. But what we gotta do here today is pick apart my logic and my grammar, and then clean it up, and then I can start submitting rules. So yeah, if we want to start with questions now, I think that'd be great.
That was one of the questions about the driveway. Improvement. We're not doing the driveways, but we do have to do
But they're called approaches,
the approach.
and they have they're important because they have a slightly different depth. The normal sidewalk's 4 inches, and an approach is 6 inches depth. And so that changes those little sections in terms of their material costs. So the contractor will need to be aware of. Now, the driveway, an idea that I was floating around, which I'm totally willing to let go of, is if we have all this work going on, we have all these homeowners, we could act as a general contractor. We could let them know we're coming through. We could have the subcontractor bid individual driveway replacements, then we could mark those replacements up. And then effectively sell those replacements to the homeowners, and then we could use that capital to help pay our construction costs. Bruce made a great point, that's gonna add a lot of management oversight, and we might not really be willing to do it, and we might not even get that many of them. So developing an entire program to get one side of one driveway could be a complete waste of resources. And it could also just be a nice bonus for the contractor. They're on site, they make the sale, we don't have to deal with it. We're out. So if we thought we were gonna get 20 driveways, I'd really push for it, cause that could be 50 grand, you know, or more towards our budget. But if we're gonna maybe get one, then I don't think we need to fight for it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, just for some clarity, and so, there's a difference between the approach and the sidewalk and the driveway. And the approach is something that we would have to fund.
Yes, because the approach is the section of sidewalk
Yeah.
that is in between. So you have a curb, an approach, a driveway. So curbs and driveways are.
Okay, I got clarity, and that's good.
So. I may be wrong, but don't some of these lots literally don't have them, they have sidewalks, but they're not really, as we know, on a sidewalk. So this is my grass, and here's the the cement on the grass, there's no curb, there's not, you know what I'm saying? Don't some of those?
So, well, some of them will require,
Don't have a normal side, well, I think that's a normal sidewalk, you know, you have the curb, you got the sidewalk, then you have your lawn or whatever.
Oh, some of them have-
Yard. And, but some of these don't have, I mean, it goes grass, cement right in there and the street.
yeah,
I mean, there's no curb.
yeah, there should be a planter zone, is that what you're?
Yeah, so they have curbs, it's just that they have their lawn, we have the sidewalk, then you have another little grass space. And so the sidewalks in most of these are what, 5-6 feet wide?
Yeah,
And there's one section in here, and that is your blue section.
which is 8 feet
And
long.
they're 8 feet because we don't have the grass section.
Yeah.
So we're not doing anything with their grass section, we're just doing the sidewalks. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
And since we don't have the capacity to manage several big projects at the same time, I wouldn't wanna be, kind of set up that connection between the homeowner and whatnot, as you described for a lot of them.
Yeah,
If we're gonna do something, and I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad one, but if we're gonna do something like a general letter to the homeowners that says, we're gonna be replacing your sidewalks in this. You know, if you wanna talk to our contractor about that, here's the name and phone number.
Yeah.
But the city won't be doing this, if you hire them, it's free, I mean, reinforce that.
yes,
So
Yeah, that's part of it.
something like that might work.
and that's important to like either make a real note or a mental note, because the next phase after we get the RFP agreed upon and I start moving on that, is we have to start figuring out how we talk to the community. You know, so letters like that
So
or
something like
hangers.
that, but I just, if something could go wrong. And you start asking the citizens what they think about stuff.
I know.
Yeah, it wouldn't be so much asking them, it's just letting them know we're gonna be doing this project. You know, and yeah, and like you said, if you want your driveway done, this is the name of the contract, so it's not gonna come for a while.
But leave it up to them,
They have to make the contract and then they have to pay for it and everything else, yes.
and I suppose you ought to ask your contractor for hours, if that's all right. with them, too.
I think that's part of the RFP, that mentioned that.
Oh, okay,
So do you
I did
have
not read that.
for hospital project?
Crazy.
That's it.
That's it, it's not very long, yeah.
No, just a few.
It starts on, it's labeled as page 113.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
And then 114, 115, 117. Pretty much right at the beginning. So, it'd be great maybe if everyone needs a moment to read it, but I'm just taking this first note down. I'm gonna get rid of all of the sidewalk information. It's like here in RFP, it says I want them to give us a range of costs, but we're gonna get rid of all that stuff. And we'll let people know the contractor and the homeowner can deal 100% correct. Correct?
Well, it says it says if during the construction, a homeowner requests a full driveway replacement, the contractor may with private review.
Oh, totally. I just still had, stuff, this information about, if you go to the, 50% page. Cause we don't need to know those. range
No,
costs.
you don't need it. So this part here about this information down to provide costs with. Okay. Okay, so we're getting rid of. From this down to their forest, executive sentence here,
Mhm.
so all of this is gone.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so
Where?
on this page here, which is scope of work,
Oh,
it starts off, you have to get down through all the little bullets. Then there's a section that says this information will support TURA's outreach campaign. To encourage homeowners to consider driveway improvements, okay? So from that down to, therefore, please bid driveway approaches separately and outline their costs here, do not include full driveway replacements in your bid at the state. All that's gonna go away because we're actually gonna do any of that. It's just, we're gonna do, if during construction, homeowner requests a full driveway replacement, the contractor and your private review. So the contractors know that, but we're not gonna. The only thing we would do, send out a letter, right, let them know which project happened, then if they wanna participate, they have to do it on their own.
which is what the next sentence says.
Right, which is what the next sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna do that.
Let's start back there. Let's just maybe, if you guys would look at 113 and just read through project overview, evaluation criteria, and project location. Then we can, do any thoughts.
Is it reasonable to expect that they would be able to start by the 18th of January?
I don't think so, but we could push it to February. I just picked maybe around.
Oh.
Groundhog, we're gonna get going early.
Right, I thought it's ever grand opening. So, oh. And I know people are reading, but I wanna say it's before, okay. So I drove through this area a couple days ago. And it's from Birch until Stillwell, it's First and Second. And on one of those streets, which one I can't remember, I think it was Second. The city is replacing a lateral line, which means they dug up the sidewalk, you know? And so I mentioned that to Sean today. Can't put in $500,000 project, only they had the city come along and
Yeah.
rip it up again. So anyway, so at some point soon, I think there's gonna have to be a meeting and, to determine where the city is actually gonna be doing the work, so that, well, we can send out the RFP, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
But we need to know that they're not gonna come along and tear up what we just done.
Yeah.
And my understanding at one point was that the city had a rule about like street, they just put in a new street, couldn't tear it up for 5 years. John thought it was only 3, but. Far as I know.
Absolutely.
Not tear up the sidewalk. I
Well,
mean, I'm assuming that the city will replace the sidewalk after they point out that they.
Did Sean have an answer for you then, if you asked him that?
When I asked him that, yeah, he thought we should really find out whether or not they're gonna be replacing all these lateral lines down there.
Well, how
Well,
the
it's
code works, if any of these houses go for sale. And part of the sale now is that they have to inspect certain satellites, and if they have to replace it, that's the point of sale.
Right.
So I don't think you're getting like away from like nobody's placed it, if they try to do it, but I'm sure they have to place. Sidewalk too.
Sidewalk.
Of course,
Yeah.
you know, that's the part of the code.
Yeah, so
Are Are most of these sewer laterals of concrete pipe or clay pipe then?
It's pretty rough, what they
Yeah.
say, 70%,
all
60%, 80%.
Trees, all down.
I believe that.
Out at the airport, we found a wooden pipe.
Wow.
Smoke test was like 2 years ago. I think they said, what, 50-60% of them need to be replaced,
I believe
and
it.
they just wait for them, let everybody know, I guess.
But even that, like, they don't necessarily destroy the sidewalk, because they are
Right,
coming from other sides, so.
Well, if they do, I mean, somebody's gotta fix it, be deciding where. Clear out to the line in the street, is the city, or is it the homeowner?
Yeah.
Or is it halfway to the sidewalk and that's the homeowner, and then the rest of the building is the city? Or the other way around?
Oh, yeah.
And that's not really settled.
No, it's contentious too, because in Portland, the city owns the street. But this, so no one can bid on the street's work, so the city can tell you what it costs.
Yeah.
So that means that, you know, the city says it's 20 grand. 20 grand, yeah, no options.
And Leon Walsh was there, was underneath there. And I was working on my project. She said that homeowners own the property to the middle of the street. But that is the right of way for the city.
Yeah, so we might change it, but. We haven't done it there.
Well, anyway, back to page one, anything jumping out,
No,
then we can move on to scope of work, we've talked about moving to one section.
And the project overview, should that be estimated? Project start date or just estimate project start? Date?
Oh, yeah, estimated project.
Okay.
And we can just, I mean,
There's a couple of comments for you.
should we push that out in February or?
Well, you're not gonna be able to keep your bids by the 31st of October.
No, that's all over language. Let's just push it out to February.
What date is the second one?
Pulling it up right now. Monday's the second,
Oh, cool, alright.
there you go. 2-2.
so did you move us on to the scope of work, Victor?
Yep, moving on to scope of work,
Question?
yes, please.
Alrighty, on the map, the section that's circled in green, let's say, so we're down by the hospital
Yep,
on Birch. And circled in green are 3 huge poplars,
yep,
and does that mean removal of all 3 trees?
I think just one.
Just one?
Because when we want the first one on the corner there,
Yeah,
it's kind of lifted up the sidewalk,
Oh, boy.
the other ones haven't. But that tree would have to be removed, then my understanding is that we have to replace it, but we'll replace it with it.
I mean, I think Tom might be onto something, if I can pick up on an insinuation
yes,
here.
you are.
We should take them all
You're
out.
picking up my
We
body.
should take all 3.
Yeah.
And then we can plan,
Is there hellacious for goodness sakes?
yep, and if no contractor comes back and says you can do it, then we can obviously talk to an arborist, but. Remove the tree.
I wonder if someone would be interested in that.
Nick's house, I
Huh?
think that's Nick Collins' house,
Yes, it is.
yeah. He probably, sure.
Okay, next question here,
So he fight the removal of these trees.
I think it's pretty good house, Ross, that he can't even walk, everything outside.
yeah,
Yeah,
Would you guys mind if I had a casual conversation with him?
oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I shall.
Did he like the removal of these stuff?
yeah,
I mean, he just finished all the work out of the house in Berlin. He just finished.
Oh.
All the
Those trees on property.
Split this past with something like that.
that'd be great, I mean, any, and when we get to pennies, I can talk about, I found a, grant called Safe Routes to Schools that the state is doing, and,
We've been.
Yeah, the cities that do that too.
well, we're totally eligible. And, I just need to
We've
submit
actually
it,
done some things with that,
right?
yeah. So I don't know where it's at in terms of how long it's gonna go before it's done, but.
Yeah.
A lot of the work near the high school where.
Yeah, it was like-
sidewalks put in, that was.
Flashback, it's.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm like 80% done the application, so I'm gonna finish it once we get the bids from contractors, and worst thing happens, they say no. Right? Anyway, let's keep moving, so bid details, we'll get rid of all the private driveway stuff. So this is just. Trying, as a contractor, talking to contractors, there's so many times where they're just like, yeah, we're gonna go with. I'm like, yeah, well, what is it? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to just get them to nail that down, so if anybody sees anything I'm missing here, please say it. And we can review the resolution.
Oh,
So
looks like a
when would
pretty
this,
complete list. Sorry.
Eric, when do you think a decent bid submission deadline?
Oh, I don't know, I was just thinking we're already in the middle of October now. I have no idea what it takes.
Or should we just aim for, because I probably won't get it out for this week, so should we just aim for?
Let's push it back, bro.
I could try tomorrow if we get ready to go.
Push it back, but let's say you push back there.
So should we just aim for the 10th, that way I could potentially propose something by the 12th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's not a lot of time either.
Well, we're not in any super giant hurry, so what I can just make it to the end of.
End of November.
End of November, and then we'll take it up again
Yeah,
in December. So what's the number?
let's just say November 28th.
My father's birthday.
I don't even remember if it's big, it just, it's old now.
November 20.
How old is she?
Well, I don't see any input from myself regarding what you have here with Bickford.
That's all right.
Yeah, and so what needs to be done to, unless others want to discuss more, what do we need from this panel tonight to move you in the direction you'd like to go?
I don't think I need a motion or anything, right? I think we should. Okay,
Well, if you're gonna edit the document, then the next thing is we need to, somewhere the next thing is. I'll just be over here if you need me. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
if I edit the document, then we would need to review it again, right? Is there a way we can do that via email and be okay with that?
That's right.
Yeah,
Can we accept the document with the proposed changes?
Yeah, we can
Please
do
do
that.
that.
great,
Anyway, you don't have to review it again.
sure.
Since we've already talked about the kind of changes we're gonna make, you wanna make the motion there?
Advertising.
I move that we accept the RFP request for proposal with the changes agreed upon.
I second.
Some discussion here.
Yeah.
Sarah, do you have clarity here?
Uh-huh,
Okay, that's all I ask.
yes, thank you.
Okay.
What I was gonna say a minute ago was that somewhere in the list of what to do after this document's finalized is how are we gonna send it out? We're gonna advertise. In some contractor's magazine, or I forget the name of it, or what? So that we can actually try to solicit bids for.
Oh, yeah, so I've already taken some steps on that. There is something called the Dodge report, but I don't think we need to spend the money to solicit that level of bid. And my computer's dead, but I have reached out to COVID offices for the state of Oregon, so COVID is the governing body that oversees small businesses getting government contracts. And they've sent me a list of some eligible contractors, and I've also been speaking to community members like Montalegro, who did the sidewalks over here at Home Life. And then I've got a few other, maybe 2 or 3 more, so I've got like a list of like 5 to 7 contractors.
Longer, we need to have a plan for that, and you do, so that's great. Thank you.
Yep. And then we also need to start probably next meeting. Figuring out how we want to communicate with homeowners, a flyer, letter, and then we will need to. I think we wait till we start getting some bids. And then we move forward with the final element of engineering, which would be site surveys. The architectural breakdowns, which is what we will need to be compliant with the AC.
Have you had much meeting in the city about where stands for all of this and?
Okay, so, well, we have their standards, and that's one of the things that would go out of this, would be the city standard. And yeah, so I'm gonna send 350 feet, it's easy to put it
Yeah.
out there, so it goes pretty fast.
Again, I would float then, is if everyone's comfortable to empower Ruth and I as a subcommittee. To just start moving the ball on some of those things, that way by the November meeting, we can come with an introductory concept of how to reach out to community members. I can update everyone on RFP submissions. And we can start talking to the city.
Okay, we have a motion on the table
Oh, yeah.
that was to accept the RFP with the amendments discussed today. You seconded. We
And
need to,
this was a discussion.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll do that, yeah. Is there anything else?
we just need to take a vote. That's all.
All in favor? Okay. We're good with RFP. All right, yes. We will do that.
And then I guess, Victor, if you want to, like, if they wanted to create like a little subcommittee, you could. Somebody could move to have that done.
Well, I think it's sure, so we have signed the sidewalk committee, because it was
Okay.
Tom and I and Victor.
Yeah, actually, we did do that with it.
Yeah,
So in the minutes, do we wanna say something for Sarah to say, that by consensus, the board, wanted to empower Victor and Ruth to move forward, is that something I wanna be able to say right now?
Well, it sounds like if there already is a subcommittee, as long as they're including you, then that is the subcommittee, so then that's fine.
So I think we're good, yeah.
Okay,
But those will be the goals for food and movement.
okay.
anyway,
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's for work.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to do something cool for the city.
okay, so under pending business, it talks about contracts to be the town of fair, okay, we already did the motion. Okay. Reminder, the November meeting, we're gonna review and amend the project guidelines and applications because they are out of date. And you can find those on the city website, and then maybe we can send them out to everybody or put them in. I will send them or whatever, anyway, you'll get these within the next week, so. Okay. And. Second, update, what's now?
You asked me to put that in, as far as,
Okay,
just to reiterate that the packets will be printed Thursday before the meetings. So that you guys, if anybody would like to pick one up, you're welcome to. The gals at the desk over here know where they are, and they are happy to deliver them to you. I mean, at the window,
at the window.
not deliver them to your house. And then, the bulk of the packet is posted online. There are some confidential pieces that are not for general consumption. So if, when those pieces are included in the packet, I can email those to people that you will not be coming and getting a packet in advance, or I can just email it out to everybody. So. Okay.
Okay, I don't know if there's any project updates, the Bouchard's game talked about their little mall out here, well, now it's got a big fence around it, people are working that place inside now, so I think everybody's inside that moved out. No, we don't have many. So, but they. You know, what essentially what we told them was, you can start your project, because I think they need to do a move anyway. And then if there's things that you want us to do, if we ever have money, we just have to say, okay, this is. Second. That's all we forward around.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're aware of that. We already, we paid the bills, so I don't know if there's anything else as far as sending yet, that's possible. There's one thing that I had with note here. So next month you get a copy, well, no, we won't do it now. Who's on the contract?
Me, John and Sarah.
And Samantha.
Yeah, I think it's a nice spot, or not.
And Cassie.
Just protected from us in periods, so.
Samantha, no, that's not Samantha, that's it, but yes.
No longer.
Sarah. Sarah. But. Yeah, that's, okay, so, so this was something that, was started, and then it needs to, it'll start getting these again, but, it'll have to be brought up to date. But there are two forgivable loans on here, one for downtown Cheddar, and that's the T-Mobile building. That's upstairs, what he's doing.
Okay.
But he has until March of 2028 to do something with that. And then the Tillamook Vision, so contract committee, actually, we need to be able to look at both of those contracts, and Sarah should be able to get 2 copies of those, and see what forgiveness means. And then report back to us, that, or just, because, you know, I think Tillamook Vision, yeah, they already did half of it, we've already forgiven half of it. So, well, we can't forgive the other part if we don't know what it is that we're forgiving it for, and if it hasn't been discovered. Anyway, and that should be something the contract committee does, so that's what's. So you. Make sense? Oh, okay.
Well,
Then I'll go to those. I think that's it. Does anybody have any comments that are not agenda items?
I'm going to Ron for some dinner, if anyone wants to join me.
Yeah.
No. Oh, no, I mean,
Okay.
We'll see, maybe I can overtalk this through.
I'm good.
I'm gonna go try to catch
Okay.
somebody now for the soccer
They
game.
don't have to be correspondence or anything other than that, when we show.
Oh, yeah. High school has lights.
All right,
That's your.
I guess we can adjourn.
All right.
Thank you all very, very.
Great work, everyone. Well, not meeting.
Oh,
Taking all the rest of this. But that's those are the facts.
See you.
Okay.
See you next month.
Good night.
Take all this. and
Okay.
Cycle it.
That's fine.
There, we I'm happy to you, Lester.
Yes, they are.